you guys. This is Rachel Kirkland, the Modern Shaman, and thanks for joining me for question and answer time with the Modern Shaman. All right. If you are new to me, I will say, welcome. And I hope you subscribe and become kind of like a person that is always kind of keeping up with this stuff. If you resonate with me, please feel free to go on my website and check out kind of what I do and things that I'm connected to, because there's lots of kind of community connections here that if you're into what I'm into, you can become a Facebook friend, and we do live streams on Facebook where we talk about the same kind of stuff. And of course I'm working at events and things that also have people that are into this kind of thing. So there's a lots of ways to get connected if you feel inclined to. All right, let me jump into this question for the video. And also, if you ever want to send, my computer went to sleep mode. Okay, if you ever want to send in a question for this Q&As, you can send them on through my website. There's a form on the contact page where you can just type in your question and say, please answer this on a YouTube video. And I will. So here's today's question. Rachel, could you please make a video on how to start your spiritual practice? Yes, I can make a video. And this is the video. Okay, so here we go. Spiritual practice. Yeah, you know what I love about this is that it's like getting to the nuts and bolts of it. You know what I mean? There's so many people, I feel like, that kind of talk about this stuff, but then it's at least for me, I go into that, okay, now how do I make it real in my life? How does it really impact my day-to-day, my job, my kids, my family? How does it, you know what I mean? How do I do it? Yeah, I get it, but how do I put it into practice? So I love that you asked this question, because I'm all about it. I'm all about that nitty-gritty, getting down to it. That's the real stuff. Oh, hey. Just going to tune into your energy that you're asking. I'll also say, I'm going to sneak this little caveat in here and say too, I'm always kind of hesitant to answer in blanket statements about these are the things that you should do, because everyone is so individualized. We're so unique, and our spiritual practices are going to be that way too. They just are, and they need to be, because they should fit you like a glove. You know what I mean? It should be totally you. It should be so real and part of just who you are and integrated in yourself, that it really can't come from the outside in. You know what I mean? And even, when I do mentoring, and mentor people, everything is so individualized. It's I have to meet and customize something very, very specific to that person, because you can't just blanket that stuff. It's so, you just can't. As much as I could give you things that could be a catalyst for you to see if you resonate with them or not, you know what I mean? To be trampoline and kind of bounce off of ideas or suggestions. It still has to be something that you really settle into and really feel true for yourself. Okay? So anyways, having said that, sorry, my hair's lying today. It's what happens in the summer. I just never dry my hair. I just let it. It's what happens when I don't blow dry my hair. It just kind of goes wave lion stuff. Mermaid hair. Okay. Sorry, I'm tangenting there. Spiritual practice. Number one, first thing I will say is know yourself. Know thyself. Give you some Socrates there, okay? In Texas, we would say Socrates. I'm going to tell you about Socrates. Y'all, I'm in such a goofy mood today. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, I can just make fun of Texans because I live in Texas and I love Texas. I'm teasing. Okay, so Socrates said, know thyself, and I feel like that's very true. You have to start with yourself, okay? And the first underscore, like if I was making an outline, I would say number 1, know thyself. A, like the sub bullet of know thyself, is know what inspires you. Okay? Like what spiritually inspires you? Like, are there certain speakers, inspirational speakers that spiritually inspire you? Certain spiritual poets like Rumi, or certain books by, Eckhart Tolle, or whoever it may be. Like, what really spiritually inspires you? You have to feel inspired. You can't start a spiritual practice from duty. Or I'm trying to be serious here. Or like responsibility. Okay, that's better. I'm a mom of like boys, and I go straight to like potty jokes in my head. But anyways, you can't really start with a sense of, well, everybody else in the Bible study group has this much quiet time every morning, or my yoga teacher said they meditate this much, and it has to feel inspired. It has to be inspired by you. Okay? So first thing is, know what inspires you. People that inspire you, spiritual practices that feel like intriguing, or, Kundalini yoga, like, ooh, maybe I'll try that, or so, something that feels inspiring to you. The next part under know thyself, so if we have know thyself as 1, then under the outline, A would be know what inspires you. B would be know what spaces feel like sacred or holy to you, okay? For the environment of where to kind of have your spiritual practice, just the practicality of it. You're going to have a space. And in my opinion, it's important to have a space that feels sacred and holy and special and almost set apart for that. That holds that energy of like your space. So either some people, are drawn to churches for that reason. They feel very sacred or holy to them, or there may be like a prayer chapel on the freeway that they always go to, or a certain temple, a certain direction, you know what I mean, towards certain, I don't know, just different, there's all sorts of different deities that they could face, or altars. Some people make altars with kind of pictures of their gurus, or candles, pictures of loved ones, or just a vision board and something that inspires them, that feels like a sacred space. This is my little meditation chair. See that blue? Let's see if I can do this. See that blue chair? That is my meditation chair. And it is like perfect. I'm really short in real life, and so it's really like short to the ground, and my feet can, go flat on the ground, which I love because I have to feel grounded. I don't like to feel like I'm up on a chair, and then when I'm meditating, I want my feet on the floor. And it's not very deep, so it's kind of shallow for my back to sit up straight. It's just perfect. I just love it. It's my meditation chair. But other people, in terms of kind of a sacred space, they may be drawn to outside. Sometimes people feel claustrophobic in inside or in religious spaces, but when you get them outside under a particular tree, it's like they just, feel the wind on their face. It's like they feel so sacred and holy and just close to God in that space. Or in a certain park, or on a certain mountain, in their backyard, wherever. Okay, only you know that answer. So to know yourself, know what inspires you spiritually, then know what feels like a sacred or holy space to you. To create that space. Identify it. Then the third thing, so like A, B, and then C under know thyself, would be know how you communicate with the other side, with the unseen world. Some people do that through prayers. That's probably the most common. And meditation, which is similar to prayer, but more so listening and quieting instead of speaking. But some people also feel like they communicate with spirit through animals, animal guides. Some people clairaudiently like have conversations with God or their spirit guides or angels or whatever, kind of back and forth in their head. Some people write, and kind of like journaling, right? Writing out their thoughts or channeling what they feel like is coming through from the other side. Some people just feel it tangibly, like clairsentience. They feel the energy around them, and they feel like spirit is communicating to them through their physical body. You have to know that about yourself. How do you feel like you hear from spirit? How does spirit speak to you? Through symbols, through dreams, through, How do you feel like you connect and feel like there's some sort of communication going on? So when you know those things about yourself, you know what inspires you, you know kind of what feels sacred, how to set up a sacred space to you, and you know how you feel like you connect and communicate with spirit, then the second thing I would say after know thyself would be do it. Do it. Okay? As simple as that sounds, when you ask that question, how do you start a spiritual practice? Once you know those things about yourself, you do those things. Okay? And I know that sounds simple, and it is simple. But truth be told, this is where people trip up. They just don't do it. They just don't. Simple as that. We just don't do it. We would rather sleep in, or we would rather watch a movie or whatever. Anything. We don't. And that's why I say you have to start with inspiration, because if you're not inspired, if it's not something you want to do that feels like, oh, I love doing this, then it drags and it becomes, it doesn't fit you like a glove. It's somebody else's spiritual deal. You know what I'm saying? So I can share mine, and I have shared it before, but I think my spiritual practice has changed over the years because my schedule and lifestyle has changed, right? When I was living alone, I was much more like monkish or like a nun. I just love my alone time. I love my meditation time. I loved quiet, long hours reading spiritual texts, like studying. I would just live pretty much like a monk or a nun or something. Like, I just loved it. I could just cloister away. When I got into a relationship, then other spiritual practices seemed really inspiring. I got into Tantra, and I got into all sorts of relational kind of spiritual practices, meditating together and all sorts of stuff with that. And then with kids, that I got a little bit more active with it, yoga, and time-wise too. I just didn't have the time when I'm working and being a mom and running a household and all that goes with, just day-to-day stuff, paying the bills, squashing a spider that comes, you know what I mean? Just little things. So my practice starts at 4 a.m. I'm an early bird. I love the morning. I go to sleep at 8 o'clock at night. I'm never up. Oh, you can ask anybody. They text me at 9 o'clock and I'm sleeping. But anyways, I've always been like that. I've always been just an early bird. That's me. That's totally me. So if it's not you, that's not you. Okay? But I love that time. It's so quiet, and there's just so few other souls awake. The energy is really still, the subtle energy of the collective, and just love it. Anyways, so that's when I get up, and I have 2 hours, and I kind of split it up with my own personal practice. This is me. This is what I have learned works for me. I watch, maybe half an hour of something that inspires me, or read something that inspires me. I meditate for 30 minutes, an hour, just depends on if I need a lot of it or not. And then I will typically channel for 30 minutes, an hour, and then I'll typically do a yoga, stretching, you know what I mean, something, breathing exercises, something like that, that's simple for maybe 15, 20 minutes. So I do something that's physical, and it changes. Sometimes I'll go outside and walk around if it's nice out, but I know that I need a mental inspiration. I need a time of connecting, so a time when I'm listening, meditating, and just stilling the body. Then I need a time when I'm letting spirit speak through me, because I often get so many messages. If I don't channel, I get really heavy energy a lot in my head. And then I have to be physical. I have to do something like stretching or feeling like I connect with my physical body. So that's me. So those are the things in terms of know yourself, know those things about you, and then do those things. Put them into a practical way that you could do it, and make it something that feels doable to you. When I say that I get up at 4 and I do that 2 hours in the morning, to some people that's oh my God, that seems like a big deal. To me, it's that's barely any time. That seems like nothing. I'm like, man, I wish I could have more. Like, it goes by so freaking fast. It's ridiculous. I'm like, oh. And to be honest with you, by like 3 o'clock, I need it again. I run out of steam and I'm like, oh, I need my meditation time again about 3 o'clock to keep me going. But it works. It works for me. And I'm grateful. And if I don't have it, if I'm lazy and I sleep through or whatever, I can go about 3 days and then I start to just like unravel. I'm not happy, peppy, high vibing Rachel. I'm like lethargic, like everything tends to grate on my nerves, kind of Rachel. Low vibe in it. So I know I need it. It's something for me that over the years I've learned that works. So that's my advice on starting your spiritual practice. Start by knowing yourself, okay? And by that, again, knowing what inspires you. Always start with your inspiration. Then the sacred space, like having a space for it. Creating a time that feels like this is mine. This is like my sacred, holy, special me, love, connecting with source time. And then the last thing is like know how you communicate. Like I said, I write and channel, and I know that, and I also am clairaudient. So when I meditate, a lot of things come through. I know how I like to feel connected and feel like I'm growing. And then the last thing, do it. Make a practice, whether it's whatever works in your schedule, make it work. And when you want to do something, you make it work. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy that like I don't have time. You have time. You just use your time for other things. Okay? Bottom line. Like, I am super busy, but I will make time for things that I want to make time for. Everybody does. That's the way it is. It's the reality. Okay. Is that it? And then maybe like after you're doing that for a while, I would say share it. Share what inspires you. Share what you're learning. Share your growth with the collective, with humanity, because it amplifies the whole and it kind of contributes to the collective progression. All right, I'm going to cut it there. I love you guys. Best of luck in your spiritual practice. I'm happy that you're asking this question, and just you're asking it, the universe will conspire to answer it in beautiful, surprising ways.